The streets of Nairobi buzzed with tensions on July 7, 2025, as Kenya commemorated the 35th anniversary of the Sabasaba protest. Amid echoes of history, opposition leader Raila Odinga released a statement that has set the political landscape ablaze, titled Sabasaba and the Call for a National Dialogue. The document calls for a new inclusive dialogue to address Kenya's governance woes. Posted on X at 8:25 a.m. on July 8, 2025, with images of his full remarks, Odinga positioned this as a follow-up to the Bomas of Kenya talks that shaped the 2010 constitution. But is this a sincere bid for reform or a calculated political play? Odinga's statement harks back to July 7, 1990, when thousands gathered at Kamukunji grounds to demand the repeal of Section 2A, ending the Moi KANU one-party state. That day, patriotic Kenyans like Kenneth Matiba, Gitobu Manyara, and Charles Rubia were arrested, alongside Odinga himself, marking a turning point for multi-party democracy. He described Sabasaba as iconic, rivaled only by Mashujaa Day, and laments his inconsistent recognition over 35 years. The movement, he argues, was inclusive, drawing professionals, academics, trade unionists, civil societies, women groups, and religious organizations under leaders like Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, united for good governance and equal opportunity.
And KANU remained the only political party. However, in 1966, an opposition party was formed called the Kenya People's Union. This party survived for 3 years. It was banned by the government in 1969, and the leadership of the party were arrested and taken to political detention. From that time onwards, Kenya remained a de facto single-party dictatorship from 1969 to 1982. In 1982, when some of us wanted to form a political party, the regime then went to Parliament and introduced a law to make the country a single-party state de jure by introducing a constitutional amendment which is known as Section 2A that made it illegal to form any other political party.
In his 2025 proposal, Odinga draws to this legacy, urging another national dialogue. He suggests an intergenerational conclave to tackle corruption, enhance police accountability, address youth unemployment, and improve governance. The outcomes, he insists, should be subject to a referendum, echoing the Bomas process. His ex-post reinforces this, stating, as I quote, "It is time for another," linking to the full statement with images outlining his vision.
I propose an inclusive, intergenerational, national conclave to hear our people across all divides and come up with an irreducible reforms and changes necessary to take the country forward. I propose that the country urgently returns to the agenda of comprehensive police reforms, focusing on enhancing accountability, transparency, and improving the police-to-people relationship. Your rogue police force that shoots people with impunity. I propose that the conclave I envisage comes up with better and sustainable ways for addressing transparency, accountability, and impunity, especially with regard to corruption, and ensuring that leaders are held accountable for their actions. The proceeds of the national dialogue be subjected to a referendum.
This call comes amid recent unrest The Kenya National Commission on Human Rights reported 10 deaths, 29 injuries, 37 arrests, and 2 abductions during the Sabasaba protests, with chaos in Nairobi, Embu, and Thika. Police barricades disrupted movement, businesses closed fearing looting, and schools shut down. Odinga's timing suggests a response to this discontent, yet his past alliances with the government raise doubts about his intent.
Come 1990, by that time I had been to detention 2 times. The 2 politicians, Kenneth Matiba and Charles Rubia, on the 2nd of May 1990, addressed a press conference in which they said that Kenya, the time had come for Kenya to become a multi-party. That Kenyans wanted a multi-party system of government. They were condemned seriously as being ethnic chauvinists, anarchists, people who want to bring chaos in this country. They told that this country was not yet cohesive enough to become multi-party. It would take another 100 years before Kenya became a multi-party system. These were daydreamers.
Is this a political maneuver? Odinga's history with the BBI and NADCO fuels speculation of self-interest, especially as some ex-users link it to retaining influence. Yet, his emphasis on inclusivity and referendum hints at a genuine push. The nation's governance challenges, corruption, police brutality, and a youth frustration lend weight to his argument, but trust in political process remains low.
We, myself and Kenneth Matiba and Charles Obia made a statement which we said we would go to Kamkunji to ask Kenyans if they were ready for multi-party. And we do it on the day of the 7th of July that year, 1990. 7th of July, 1990. So after making that statement, we then now went on to mobilize for the meeting at Kamkunji.
As Kenya stands at this crossroads, the question lingers: will this dialogue unite or divide? With the statements released just hours ago at 12:12 p.m. East African Time on July 8, 2025, the story is unfolding. Stay tuned as we track the responses and outcomes. What do you think? Reform or rhetoric? Share your views below.